This is the Drewsperience show, the show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. Tonight, I'm joined by two huge guests in the Muay Thai scene, but also in the mobility, stretching, and recovery scene for combat sports. I am really pleased to welcome Cindy Hernandez, who's a mobility and stretching coach specialist, followed with the coach and owner of Andrada Muay Thai, Jason Andrada. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, well, it's pretty big. You guys are doing big things in Vegas, Fight Capital. And I love what you guys are. I see that you guys are open during the pandemic with the rules. And it's nice to see because martial arts are an essential service, I feel, especially if you're a teacher or a coach. So tell me, I want to know, how did you guys get started in martial arts and why Muay Thai? So whoever wants to go first, let's hear your why.
So I was actually gave my students a story after we trained earlier today. Back in, I did it as a kid. I learned about Muay Thai from a video game, Joe Higashi from Fatal Fury, like superstar guy. Asked my mom, "Hey mom, can I try, Muay Thai?" And found it was a lot harder than playing a video game. So I was pretty lazy as a kid. So I only did it for like maybe 3 or 4 months. And then fast forward to 2006, Ong Bak made its U.S. debut in the theaters. And I was like, hey, I want to go watch that movie. That looks so awesome. Because I was a big fan of Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies. And so, yeah, I went to that movie. And walking out of there, I was like, I want to do that. I want to see if I could do that. And then I tracked down Master Toddy. I tracked down his gym, which was the original gym I trained at as a kid. Tracked him down. He was still in Vegas, still running strong. And yeah, I put up 3 years for tuition for classes up front, and it's like I'm in it, and I just never left the gym since 2006. still going till this afternoon.
Cindy, what about you?
For me, it started in high school. I got into kickboxing originally. I did some unsanctioned smokers here in Vegas, like first thing off the bat, like out of garages, in gyms, YMCA, kind of just thrown together sort of thing. Weight classes weren't a thing, or there was side betting going on. Transition to boxing, got into powerlifting, more boxing and kickboxing. And then when I met Jason, he introduced me to Muay Thai, and just the idea of elbows and knees being integrated and the clench work, it was just a whole nother thing to tackle. So I got really interested into it.
That's awesome. Well, Jason, to answer what you said, I went on a big Jackie Chan binge this past weekend, so I'm gonna fly off a few Jackie Chan movies. You're gonna tell me how good your knowledge is. Let's see if you're a super fan. Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx, and Jackie Chan's First Strike.
Oh, what do I think about them? Friggin' amazing.
If you know about them, if you know about those ones.
Oh yeah, I think Rumble in the Bronx was his first U.S. His first U.S. movie, and I actually remember watching that movie in the theaters when it first came out back in early '90s. There was a cool theater down on Charleston, the Red Rock Theater.
The Red Rock, yeah.
Yeah, man, I was so pumped watching that movie. Oh man, that brings back a lot of good memories. Super Cop and the other one, Operation Condor, I'm not too familiar with, but I mean, there's so many great movies from him.
Which is the one where he broke his foot on the air thing and kept going?
That was Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah, that with that hovercraft.
Yeah, hovercraft. Yeah.
That was one of his best. So First Strike was the one where it's known as the Police Story series, but it was called First Strike for the American audience. So that was like the first one I ever saw as a kid, and that's what kind of got me into martial arts. And for the video game, I can relate to that because I do Kyokushin style karate. So I got into martial arts because of Jin Kazama in Tekken 4 with his story.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice. Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
remember Tekken. I actually remember when that first came out as well. Yeah, I was huge into arcades. I loved arcades. Always played in the arcades when I was a kid. Tekken, Virtual Fighter, Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, Street Fighter, Dark Stalkers, Killer Instinct. So many good video games.
Well, that's what I got my logo from, the Drewsperience, because I wanted to make it like bring that nostalgia back from Street Fighter 2. Because when you think of combat sports and martial arts, what is people attribute it to? Street Fighter 2. Because like no matter how well today's generation will never understand they will never understand the excitement. Pardon?
Oh yeah, this generation will never know like putting the coordinates or the tokens inside of the video games. It's all on cards now.
Oh yeah.
It really is. And as for Cindy, I can relate to you where you said you did kickboxing. I did YMCA karate. Yeah, I quit after a week. That guy, that teacher was not cool. Like I was against martial arts for a bit. Like I didn't want to do it. I wanted nothing to do with it. And then obviously I watched UFC 182 like about 15 years later. I watched John Jones dominate DC. And that's when I said, okay, well, that's my fighter. I like John Jones, and I'm going to get into martial arts. And then I watched Gegard Mousasi start Dan Henderson versus on the Gus and Rumble card in 2015. And I was like, okay, I'm walking into a dojo to enlist, and that's, we'll register. And the rest is history.
Nice.
Nice. Very cool.
So the other question I have for you guys is, well, actually for Cindy, because you're a mobility and stretch coach, and Jason, you can relate to this too, since you're a coach and an owner, well, more coach because you've seen it all. What do you feel that martial artists, especially in striking martial arts, are lacking when it comes to recovery?
Oh, the biggest thing for me, it's the preventative. They don't really get taught from any coach or because it's never been something that's been integrated in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the gyms today, they're still not even showing people how to properly stretch, how to properly warm up. They just say, hey, go, warm up for 10 minutes. And somebody who has no experience in that is just kind of like going off of a whim, maybe, doing a jump rope here or there, little side bends here and there and thinking they're warm. The goal is to, make sure everyone's knows how to take care of their body, knows how to stretch things out when they feel tight. But it's also the before and the after process. So that's my biggest thing that I try to implement within the students, especially the fighters. It's if something's tight, it's not necessarily because of an injury, but an injury can be coming on. We need to make sure you've got good technique. So when coach is adjusting you, make that adjustment. And then also stretch so you're warm and those muscles are ready to do what they need to be done.
Jason, what do you want to add to that based on what you've seen from your beginner students to your advanced students, and with what Cindy just said? Like, how do you feel about like what she said with that?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of people lack the knowledge in how to begin stretching out and proper warm ups. And I mean, even myself, honestly, I just started hitting the bag slowly and then just gradually pick up speed. So I'm not really I starting my whole training process and growing up from training, I never really was big into stretching. I know Master Toddy's classes, they had about a 10-minute stretching routine and a warm-up routine that we did. I just use shadow boxing as a light warm-up and then to get into the heavier work. But yeah, definitely before classes. This is why I want you guys to show up early, and then afterwards, you gotta stretch, foam roll, invest in a massage gun for the house, and then take care of your body, because when you're just starting off like fresh and you're maybe younger, your body can get away with a lot more. But a lot of friends that have been doing it for so long, you know, like a lot of my OG friends really appreciate the knowledge of proper stretching, and you know, body maintenance and taking care of yourself. Is you know, even the older guys, you know, all the lifting weights and all the, you know, the banging of the legs and the knees and whatnot. It really takes a toll after a while.
Very, very true. No, like, I mean, as mentioned, in my style of karate, kind of neglect stretching because we're like supposed to be like the toughest. But it's like, but I had like one of my friends, Bernardo, who's like he's like a personal trainer, and he's also like a yoga instructor, and he's trying to really incorporate that into the traditional martial arts too, like with a belt system, because he's like, we don't really have like proper stretching or mobility work. And like for me, I have a very bad lower back. Like I can't tell you how many times like I used to have a day job with manual labor doing that. So I blew my back out one time and I had to let it heal. And it's kind of it healed, but it's kind of like it didn't heal properly. So I had to get physio done. Now it's better. But I see what you mean, Cindy. Like you really have to do warm up and then recovery, like the massage gun, or get like a physio or osteo even. It's key. It's very important.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like I tell people, if you're not stretching to the point where you're feeling that pull, or you're not even sweating during your stretch or warm up, then what you're doing is just, you know, you're wasting time on your body right there. You guys really take the time and invest. It's like you can Google so much now. There's so much content, especially now with the pandemic, of a solid 10-minute warm up that you can do and how to's, and they break it down for you. It's the knowledge is there. It's if you're wanting to make that time for yourself and your body.
Exactly. That's it's very, I love what you said. But the problem is with the internet, you know, there's so much content, but the internet says something and people try to do that. For example, they could say, well, the internet said I should do this, but then it turns out it's like they come to you and they're like, well, Cindy, what do I do? Jason, this is what Google said. Is this legitimate? So
Well, after you know, you know, messing up a couple times, and you know, listening to different you know, different opinions, and kind of really do some research on who you're listening to.
Yeah.
You know, if you find somebody on YouTube, I mean, there's really smart people on YouTube, really proper education on YouTube and Google. But I mean, if you just listen to everyone just talk, and you're just trying to follow everyone, then I mean, you're gonna go down the wrong path for sure. And then you mess up, and then you know, then it's educate that in itself is education too. So you know, it's finding the right people to kind of pay attention to.
Exactly.
very, very true. So how did you two meet exactly? Like, and how long have you guys known each other for?
So we've known each other for almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
I think 2016. We actually dated for over 4 years, and then yeah, so about a little bit before the New Year's hit, 2021, we just decided that, you know, to step back, and you know, to maintain a good friendship, and you know, good business relation. You know, she's a wonderful gym manager. She's helped me out immensely since day one. So you know, to maintain a strong friendship, and yeah.
I love what you said there, because it's really important that, you know, because as mature, it's just hard for some adults to be mature and, you know, realize like, even though you break up, it doesn't mean not be friends with them. You know, like I really hate that when people ask me, well, are you still talking to her because you guys had something? It's like, yeah, I still talk to her. I'm a grown ass adult. What do you want? Like, you want me to hate her? Like, it's like, this isn't high school. Like when you reach, it's like, but some people are still stuck in that high school. Like I still have some, I still have like some people, like I have some not, I shouldn't say ex, but like former friends. I see them and they give me that like weird, like, you know, they have like this chip on the shoulder, and they're like, and I'm like, bro, it's like, it's like, how old are you? Like, are you serious? Like, come on. It's like, come on, man. Whether it's a girl or a guy, it's like, come on, we're all mature at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it takes a certain kind of mindset or mentality to kind of, everyone's different. And I totally understand that, but
situations are different too.
Yeah.
It's
like we don't have there's no kids, there's no bad vibes, there's no, nothing bad happened. It's and I personally, I don't get jealous, I don't get offended, I don't get, I love everyone, man. It's so I'm like super laid back, like I think I am, but
no, you are.
but yeah, it's why have like that negativity in your life? Like you don't need it. I don't need to be jealous over anything. I don't need to be mad over anything. That's just is so much energy being expended on bullshit. So it's like you don't need it in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There's even like it's so funny. Like I just relate. When it's funny is when you said like there's no bullshit and whatnot. Like I had one guest on my show who's a Kyokushin master from England, and when I was posting, so whatever I do when I have my guest on, like that's why like I would say send me the best photos so I can make sure like people know who you are. So and he's like, can you please include a picture of me and my former wife? He didn't say ex-wife. Like, it was so respectful. It's like, really? He's like, yes, she'll kill me. She's also a Kyokushin champion. And, and it's like, I was like, wow. I was like, that's mature, man. I love that. And I said that. And like, I aspire to be like you with that mentality, always keep the bridges, no jealousy, nothing, life's too short to hold grudges.
Yeah, like we have a great friendship and we work really well together, and I completely supportive of Andrada Muay Thai and the success that has been growing, especially within the last few years. So it's there's nothing to fix. It's not broken. Just, we're better friends, better colleagues. It's just, he's my coach as well still. So it's, just everything's great.
That's awesome. I love that. No, it's really good. So when people watch this and they understand like what maturity is, they should look at you two as a template to be like, you know what?
Mature.
I don't know, man. Not mature all the time.
Listen, I'm pretty dumb too. Even though I'm good at knowing martial arts, but if you ask me about taxes or money management, good luck. Well, you know what? I'm better with my money management now. But you know what? It's like you could ask me like, hey, Drew, who fought on this card? When did like, for example, like when did Valentina Shevchenko have her last knockout win? And I'm like, oh, she knocked out Caitlin Chikugian at UFC 247 on February 6, 2020, 1 month before the pandemic.
Man, that's a good memory.
That's a solid memory, right?
I don't remember yesterday. So
I don't remember what I ate yesterday either, although I'm pretty sure I ate Uber Eats, and that's why I feel like a light heavyweight now. So So yeah, but and the other thing is too, so the other question I have is you guys are like have such a good relationship, but also when you're doing what you love, you got to make sure that, like when I just said personal finance, and money management, how is it that you guys have succeeded in that? Or is it still like, it's a kind of a sensitive question in a sense because everybody's different, but to do what you love, especially in the fight game, how do you manage your money? Because we've seen too many fighters go broke when they're just about to go pro. They get that paycheck, they get that bonus from like the win they got in like a lower promotion, and then they go broke. So what is your advice on your experiences you've seen or experienced with money management?
Straight up, live below your means.
Yeah.
Like I want a new Tacoma. Like I want it, but I'm driving a 2011 Honda Civic. I mean, it's still a nice car, but it's running. It has low miles. I don't need a new car. I don't need that extra $800, $900 payment. My gym is 1,300 square feet. It's fairly small. The gym is getting packed. There's no need to rush into a giant gym right now. When I can make this work and work well. So you don't want to put yourself into this hole that you're going to be struggling if things go like who would have expected that we would have been locked down or in this whole basically entire of 2020. So there's always going to be some bad things happen, and do you have the preparations to handle that? or are you going out buying frivolous things, not setting up for rainy days? Are you living paycheck to paycheck, wanting to party and take out your friends and all these other things? It's like, you got to be selfish. Like, you got to, live, you don't need all these sneakers. You don't need all these watches. You don't need all this jewelry. You don't need all these, fancy things. It's, invest in the things that you love, but like, be smart. Like, there's a few things that I spend my money on, but pretty much like my entire life goes towards this gym.
Very true. I love what you said there. And like, you know what? I don't get people who have all those sneakers too. Like, you know what? I have one pair of boots. I have one pair of those. I don't know what boots they're called, but they're like those slip-on boots that guys wear. Chelsea boots, I think. I don't know. Look up Bluntstone. It's a weird name. That's what I have. I have a pair of Converse for the summer, white ones for the past 4 years. I take care of them. I have a pair of Adidas, and that's it. Like, you know what? But when I see people with like 6 pairs of Jordans, I want to dirty them. I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna dirty one of those pairs. You can realize how stupid that purchase was. But you know what? That's me just being judgmental. So people might see this and they'll be like, hey, that guy's an asshole. I'm not gonna wear Jordans in front of him. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you're right. I think flex culture is really killing people, like, and then people come to you and they say, Cindy, I can't afford today's treatment because I went out last night and I treated like my friends. Or then dude would be like, hey, Cindy, I can't come for training today because I was with this girl last night and I spent like $400 on her. Great. Yeah. Great. Uh-huh. You know what you could have spent that $400 on? Yourself. So you could feel better, and then you could feel better instead of feeling like trash after, that.
Well, that's the thing is, it's not even educated at home. It's like money's not hardly discussed, and even in the school system. So like for me, the one thing I grew up with is my dad was always like, budget what you need for the month based on what you make. 15% of that goes into savings every single month. And that's something I've always carried with me since I started working at 15. So I'm still living off of my bare minimum. Am I making the bare minimum? No. But the rest of that additional, that's just been going into savings, because if that's something I didn't do before, and Jade had already been doing that himself, when the pandemic hit, we would have really been screwed like a lot of other people. But we're frugal. We both budget like our lives well. We're not like just, we need to get this, and have like the newest of things. And we, I've always lived very comfortable within my means. I don't need a lot of everything, very simple. So I'm, biggest thing, I always try and keep at least a year's salary in savings. If that's something that a goal for everybody to have, is definitely something to practice. Have a year's salary in savings, because shit hits the fan. 2020. 2020.
Yeah, like when I had a Nima on, Nima Safapour, by the way, I forgot to give a shout out to, because I do like a little ad read, it's Sunday, but who cares? So this episode is brought to you by Moments Management. If you're a pro MMA fighter or up and coming and you want to understand how the game works, Moments Management will take care of you. Where Nima Safapour and his team have clients such as Alex Gustafsson, Gegard Mousasi, Pani Kianzad, and he will make sure you understand how to invest your money, save your money well while you are fighting. Moments Management, where quality comes first. So yeah, I had to give that ad read there. But yeah, Nima, as I was saying, off the cuff, man, that's what's up. That's what I love about doing this podcast. So anyway, Nima, who I had.
There you go. Make it work.
Thank you. So Nima, what he said was, when I had Nima on my show, I love what you said, because he even said too, live below your means. And he's like, because your window is very small. And if you're a pro fighter, you don't have a 9 to 5. You have to invest your money into your training. Don't invest it in frivolous things. And if you are investing it, low risk, or like investments that will gain compound interest in the long term, because you want to have money working for you. And he's like, a guy like Gegard, like the episode's there, guys. Like, what does Gegard Mousasi do? He puts all his money into real estate in the Netherlands. He doesn't need to fight. He really doesn't. Like, he's got like, he's like the example of what a fighter should do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your takes on that is, but yeah, like it's that's like that. Pardon?
100%.
Yeah. So like Jason, like as you said, you live below your means, and you said you don't want to like buy that new car. Have you had this talk with your students too? Because like sometimes they might come up to you and say, I can't afford this month, and have you thought of maybe like giving them some common sense based on your experience and like, and for the better, just so they understand like, hey, you know, if you want to continue, you gotta like.
If they ask for just life advice, you know, I'm always happy to share my opinions and my advice. I don't force any of it on anyone. So,
Yeah.
you know, but in the end, it's up to their, you know, it's up to them to follow any of the advice that I give them. So, you know, I can only give you my perspective as well. It's you know, from what I've experienced, what I see. I don't know what other people are going through, but yeah, it's just all about making smart decisions. You know, if you could live without it, don't get it. Um, you know, live below your means. Don't jump onto, you know, buying, you know, so many things and having to rack up, you know, all these monthly bills. You know, it's you know, just be smart with your money. Like, you know, you wanna have to work, you know, an extra 20 hours a week to afford this thing, man. It's up to you, man. It's not the way I want to live.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. I love how you said it, Cindy. You know, 15%, you've been doing that since 15. So, yeah, you guys are like the definition of American success, you know, just, you know, hard work and perseverance. Look, some years aren't easy, but, you know, look, 2020 wasn't easy at all. So it's.
Oh yeah, it's always about that grind. You put the work in. The result is yours. Like I always tell people, it's your hard work and your effort for your result. You can't blame anybody else for that. It's up to you 100%. At the end of the day, what you put forward.
How did you guys manage during the pandemic? Because, like, remember, so here's how I remember 2020, okay? This is what I remember. It's already a year almost. It's crazy. So I had like, it was UFC 248, the last event where Izzy fought Yoel and Whaley versus Joanna. And then after that, yeah, it's a pandemic. So it's like, and then the whole world shut down. So what happened exactly? Like, what was it like for you guys in the beginning when everyone's like, shut this down, like you got to close?
for like 2 months.
Yeah, it was like 60 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did like 2 months, like 2 months, like the whole world shut down. I mean, including Vegas.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of other
30-day
a lot of other counties and states, you know, have it, you know, far worse than Vegas is. Fairly loose and fortunate on what happened, but and we're lucky in that sense. But yeah, we had about 2 months, and you know, once they gave, and this is actually the week of that we're gonna have the my year anniversary party here. So
the taco truck guys scheduled.
so we had yeah, we got the announcement. The governor is going to shut us down for like 30 days, which ended up being 2 months. But you know, it's you know, I sat around for, you know, a day or two, like, you know, kind of, you know, this really sucks, and you know, and you know, I could keep complaining, but you know, it's complaining's not gonna, you know, complaining's not gonna solve the issue. Is not gonna help me survive. So you know, it came up with a game plan and one that's gonna keep me sane. And then I was in here, you know, every day of the week, filming, you know, solid workout videos and technique videos and whatnot. I was, you know, in the gym by myself, in front of my phone, taking like 25-minute videos for my students that were sticking with me. So I have this awesome collection of YouTube videos that is available to my students. You know, in case I can't make it to the gym now, but this is what I would be doing during the gym. Like I mean, during the shutdown. So I found a way to, you know, still keep in touch with my students. And if any of my students had, you know, any issues or any problems, they could always hit me up. You know, I'm super open like that. I'm like 24/7. But yeah, I was you know, just trying to be as helpful as I can and still come out with some content to keep the knowledge flowing, and you know, hopefully keep you guys entertained as much as I can.
That's awesome. And how have you guys managed since reopening? Like, how is it that you guys have made it work for like to stay open? Where like some gyms, they're like, not, you have to close because there's like a potential of a breakout of the virus or whatnot.
So you know, we just kept with accordance with the the
Mandates.
mandates and whatever the governor wants, the mask, the limitations on capacity, the disinfecting and whatnot. I mean, we're just following the guidelines, following the rules, and just flowing from there. Like, not overthinking it, but making sure we touch all of our bases. And we had a limit cap. Before he just raised it like about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we just follow the rules and not post all this crazy stuff on social media. We just.
But like even before the mandate and everything, like we've always kept the gym super clean.
Yeah.
Like after every class, wiping down the bags, wiping down the mats, mopping the floor. And it's not even just me and Jay doing it. It's their students join in and help. They're cleaning walls, wiping down windows, wiping the mirrors down. Everyone took a cleaning hand in this. And then so when the whole pandemic hit, it just amplified the necessity of it. The only real difference between our cleaning process before the pandemic and now is that we just have more spray bottles available because everybody just knew we were keen on cleaning anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a clean, sport to be in. You're going to mix sweat, hair gets pulled, things get caught, there's blood, there's everything. But it also keeps you sane. It keeps you in good form, keeps you in good fit shape. And the community here is amazing. So the fact that all that combined, it made people want to come back because they knew how already strict we were with the cleanliness, and they knew it was just going to get even better from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And good on you guys, being like keeping open because, as mentioned, martial arts are an essential service. They really are, especially now because we've seen the mental, like where I live in Canada, the gyms are still closed. Like it's only now in certain areas they're like opening them based on like, it's like they have a color code system. It's really screwed up. So it's like green means it's like there's warning, yellow means be on alert, orange means high, and red is maximum alert.
Oh yeah, we don't have a color code. Yeah, we have phases. We have phases.
Yeah, but like I said, Vegas is fairly lucky. Like, we're super lucky in comparison to like California, New York, and I mean, some states stayed open throughout the whole thing. Like, so just depends on where you live in the continent. I guess it's you could be lucky or just like have really bad luck.
Very, very true. Now switching it to MMA because we're all fight fans. Let's be honest. What was the first UFC you guys watched, and who was the fighter that got you into MMA? Or fighters, plural. It's. I don't want.
Man, so I guess the first fighter that got me into MMA, that really got me paying attention to it was Valentina. I mean, I would watch a couple fights, go to some fight parties. I mean, there was barbecue involved, but yeah, once I started training with her, it's I started paying a lot more attention to the UFC. So I mean, it's a blast watching it and seeing everyone being a part of the sport. So I mean, it's I would say Valentina.
And for me, it was never a specific fight, a specific fighter. I just loved watching it being grinded out, and the entertainment factor above that. Like my biggest thing and my pet peeve is when you're watching the main card and there is no entertainment at all. There is no action, it's just dancing. So for me, I like watching the amateurs or, the first prelim card go up because those guys are grinding it out. They're bashing. They're going all hard because they want that contract. They want to get signed. They want that next fight. There's that hunger. And when I see that in a fight, that's what catches my attention. That makes me want to keep watching.
It's very true, very true. Like, I mean, I love the early UFCs. As mentioned, I only got into MMA in 2015, and then it was UFC 194 that really, really that said, okay, this is it. And it wasn't the Conor knockout of Aldo. It was the Rockhold versus Weidman fight, which I think as time goes on, it's one of the better middleweight fights in history because it wasn't involving a guy named Anderson Silva. It didn't involve Chris Weidman versus some Brazilian. It had like two Americans, East Coast versus West Coast. And I think that's what the sport needed. And it's on YouTube, that fight. And I mean, I don't know if you remember that fight, but like, how crazy was it that Rockhold won that fight with pneumonia or like being on antibiotics, where it's like a staph and like all of these issues. But I mean, one of the best performances you guys have seen, you'd say?
You know, honestly, man, my memory is shot. Okay. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I have a bad memory. Like I need to watch the video. Like it doesn't depend. I mean, doesn't matter what sport it is. Like I need to watch some clips.
We need those replays. Yeah.
It's okay. I understand completely. I don't judge at all. As I said, there's some stuff I don't remember. Like sometimes I don't even remember what I ate yesterday. And sometimes I forgot that I left that. And sometimes I forgot that I left the car out when I have to park it in the garage. Otherwise I get a ticket. So don't worry. We all have our memory issues. But now you said Valentina, you've trained with her. How did that happen? Like, how did you guys meet the Shevchenko sisters? And what has that been like since they've come to Andrada? Like, how's that been?
So, how we met? They were living in Houston back in like 2017, and they were training at a friend's gym, Michael Corley, and we fought on the U.S. team in Thailand in the IFMA World Championships. We were on the same team back in 2009. Representing the United States, and we had a super blast, and you know we connected so well, and just maintained a good friendship since then. But yeah, they were gonna move to Vegas, and you know the manager I guess contacted or asked him who they should train with out here, and I guess he dropped my name, and so one day I just got a call from the Shevchenko's managers, and yeah, my first time working with them was for Antonina's one of her fights with Lion Fights in the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut, and so yeah, my first experience with them was 2017. Helping Antonina out for a couple Muay Thai fights. I think I helped her for like 2 or 3, and then before she got the Contender Series, and then got the contract with the UFC. But yeah, since then I've always been, you know, I've never missed a day working with them. So I'm always down to help them out. You know, they've become really good friends of ours. But yeah, it's super fun working with them. Like I have such a blast. I get so excited when they have a fight because I love to train too. So you know, it's a win-win.
Cindy, that's how I found out about you. I saw like Antonina, because I follow Antonina on Instagram. Like you were doing some mobility work with her, and I was like, and Antonina is one of my favorite female fighters. So then I was like, oh, like Cindy seems to know what she's doing. So I just saw, you know, that's how I came across. So guys, follow Happypandalv, please. You know, you got to support your local businesses, and you got to support your local entrepreneurs. So you see, give you a shout out. I'm just doing what I can. But what's it like working when you started working with Antonina? Because they're very different. You know, Valentina has been fighting in MMA more, and Antonina, her story is very interesting. She did MMA when it was kind of frowned upon for women back in the day, like in the dark ages of MMA, as we call it, the Wild West days. So for her, it's like she's more of a striking specialist. But do you feel if she gets back, like, you know, that muscle memory from fighting, you know, with judo, wrestling, do you feel that she can make a run for the title too if Valentina decides to move up to bantamweight?
Ooh, that's a you question. I don't.
And their fighters are hard. They're like,
amazing.
Yeah, they're, you know, world class fighters. So I mean, if you give them that option and it looks good to them, they're gonna take it. I mean, they're down to fight anyone. So, if obviously they're not gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. That's like a common. I guess people ask that question a lot. That's totally insane. But yeah, if Valentina moves up a weight class, it's you give Antonina the chance, she's gonna take it. They both train insanely hard.
Yeah.
And they've been about that life for like since they were kids.
Yeah.
So
they live and breathe this.
Yeah.
They respect it through and through, and that's something you can't train or teach someone to do. No. It's the passion. It's through them. It's amazing to watch.
I don't. Have you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z?
I have.
Yeah.
Android 18? Do you remember Android 18, the blonde hair android? Yeah. That's who Valentina reminds me of. Like, just the killer. Like, she's just like, and
she's much nicer. Maybe after Android 18 and Krillin got married, but Valentina is much nicer than Android 18. during the fight, yeah, I could totally see that. For sure. They're both tough, and they're both really focused on its business.
Yeah.
They come to fight. They train. I mean, we're talking about like the UFC, so I mean everyone in there comes to fight. So I mean they're just born fighters. So I mean you're at that level to where it's when you get to that level of a promotion, it's everyone's gonna fight. You call them up on a day's notice, they're there.
What I love about them too is like they're kind of like fine wine. Like they age better with time because like as you've seen before, when Valentina first became champion, not many people knew of her, but over time she's really exposed herself. She does more on media now. Same with her sister. They've become so likable that it's like I had friends who were Amanda Nunes fans. So I'm taking a shot here, but who cares? They went from Nunes fans to Shevchenko fans, and it's like wow, like that. And the reason why Valentina puts herself out there, and she's a likable champion. She's the example of a champion. You'll never see her in the headlines for the wrong reasons. Yep. I call her female GSP because she has that traditional martial arts background, very open-minded. And they're just great. And their coach looks like he wants to kill someone. Every time I see Pavel, like I see him like he's like in the back.
They're 100% professional.
Yeah.
It's a business. They're professional. They're not. Their whole life revolves around fighting and piloting and boating, and everything's geared toward. It's very their life is very tactical.
Yeah, shooting competitions, all that. But it's like outside of training, they're the three of them all together. They're just amazing, humble, just adoring people. Love them. They're just great people to be around. It's outside of all of that, they're just good people, decent. Hang out with them, have a good time. Yeah, definitely.
And they become like a family for your gym in a sense. Like they help others. Cindy, you've done mobility work with Antonina, and I think are you more like I know you've done for both, but I think are you closer with Antonina? You'd say, or is it equal?
The more so, the reason why I'm working more with Antonina right now is because right now she's local. Valentina really enjoyed her last fight, so she loves to get out and travel. So she was on the road for 6-8 weeks.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think she's still on the road.
Yeah, she took advantage of that break, that window, and and she's still training. So she's traveling, training, and doing all that. But yeah, as soon as she gets back, I'll be back working with them. I want to say I'm close with both of them. We have a good relationship. I bring them snacks when I'm allowed to. They lived in Peru for 8 years. My family's Peruvian, so we do have a lot in common, and we love all the same food. So it's just always a good time. I don't even see it as work. They're just amazing people.
Yeah, I feel what it is like too, because sometimes when you befriend the professionals, it's like wow, it's like you're kind of starstruck at first, but then you're kind of like for example, I'm friendly with like Nima now, and it's like, so I can't be like, oh my god, I'm friends with the pro manager. It's like, oh, okay, hey, what's up, bud? So it's like we talk here and there when we can. Another pro fighter that I remember meeting was, who was it? It was in Kyoku. Oh yeah, he was on Tough, the one where Usman won Tough, Black Zillions versus Top Team Andrews Nakahara. So he's a big name in like my style of karate, and since he was on Tough, like it kind of helped raise the bar for that art. So every time like I talk to him, it's like I have to pinch myself, but then it's like, wow, it's like he's a human like me, and he just talks to me like I'm his bud, and that's what's fun about that's what I love about pro fighting. It's not like sports, like team sports, where like there's always egos. It's like that's why I gave up on team sports. I was never good at it.
Yeah, no.
It's like when people ask me, hey, did you watch the game of LeBron or Tom Brady? It's like, what? Like, what happened? It's like I'm an alien to that. They're like, you don't watch football or basketball? I'm busy, but I could tell you what happened on the fight last night if I remember on the prelim of this round at this minute and whatnot. So that's and then when it comes to like other fights, you like the prelims, you said, but last night we had one of our fan favorites, Derek the Black Beast Lewis, knock out Curtis Blades. The dude that said, the guy that came on TV and said my balls was hot. That one.
That's how I say him always. I was like, I want to watch it this weekend. I want to watch it. I want to see what he's gonna say.
He got his coach's name wrong last night, actually. It's like,
oh my god, yeah. Someone else told me that. He got his coach's name wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah. He took some hits. He took some hits.
Oh well.
There's like he's just a meme, that guy. Like some of the memes he has, like I just like look at them and I'm like, what did I just see? Like but like the best one was that, no, which one was it? Oh, like he's on. Okay, so I'm quoting him here. So he won one of his fights before the balls was hot comment, and he's like, so they're like, Derek, that was a very good win. How do you feel? And like he does, and he's like, he just says like what he's gonna do with his wife after, and it's like the announcer's like, okay, well that's not appropriate for TV. And Derek's like, some Houston boys, shit, like.
I love that because he's him. He's just being him. I love it. He owns up to it. It's awesome.
That's the announcer's fault. That's the interviewer's fault. Like he's got to know who he's interviewing.
Yeah.
You better say some stuff.
It's sometimes, and that's the thing in this sport. There's no filters. Like Dana says, I don't filter my fighters. So so I want to ask you, like, so now, Cindy, you seem to be an Usman fan. We were talking a bit about this when we first met. Yeah, how do you feel? Pardon?
Usman's amazing. I love watching him. Love watching him train. Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you feel he is the welterweight GOAT if he gets a few more wins with the way he's fighting?
I think it's 100% obtainable, but we don't know how hungry the other guy is. And that's the biggest thing. It's like you never know what someone's been through. You don't know what they're grinding for. And that puts a different monster in that ring sometimes. When people have hit that rock bottom, you don't know what they're willing to lose. And when someone's willing to lose it all and they're going to put it all in the ring, it definitely changes up the game. So it's always exciting to see who's going to come through,
Very, very true. And, now we might get that Masvidal rematch. So I'm hoping it happens. I'm really hoping it happens. I like Jorge, but man, like they got to make that fight in Florida. Like if they want to really raise the bar of mixed martial arts and combat sports, put it in Florida. So let me ask you guys, Vegas or Florida for that rematch?
I like Vegas just because I'm Vegas. Yeah. Bring the money here.
My capital of the world.
They got the PI here. They get well taken care of over there. So they got everything here. There's no need.
Have you guys been to the PI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like?
You whispered that like it was a secret.
That's where I started training with them.
Yeah.
What's it like inside there? Like, is it true that it's like?
It's the most awesome gym, but man, if you're not working with a team, it could be so quiet. I don't like a quiet gym. I like it popping. So yeah, it's like a world-class facility. that and the equipment they have at the Apex. Like you can't beat it. But it's kind of weird. They have like half of it shut down now because of the the pandemic and everything.
And the guidelines, they have to be within guidelines.
Yeah, so like the little juice bar I used to get my smoothies at, they stopped doing that. You know, and there was a cafe in there. I've never been to that, but I mean the equipment's nice for sure.
Yeah.
Every time I look from on the TV, it's like I feel like a kid in a candy store, but looking at it from the outside, it's like, ooh, it's like I want to check this out. Did you guys meet?
It's beautiful inside.
It's not about like where you're training. It's about who you're training with.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Did you guys meet Dana?
No.
Oh, yeah, no. I've never seen him.
No.
Okay.
Never seen him. Not even around and about.
Oh,
you see
man.
a lot of players out and about here too. They're normal every day. A lot of them live here, but I've never met or seen Dana White. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Forrest Griffin there? I know he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him a couple times. We say hey. You know, I mean, I obviously know who he is. I mean, he's world famous, but I don't think he really knows who I am.
It's okay. He will soon.
Hope so. Hi, Forrest.
The best is like imagine you see Francis Ngannou in Vegas and he's like this big hulking like heavyweight and he sounds like a librarian. Like every time I hear Francis talk, it's like he lowers his voice.
I the last time I was at the PI with Antonina and I was leaving, I'm like lugging my massage table out the door and he's standing in the lobby just like eating one of his bowls, doing a FaceTime call. And like I made eye contact with him and he like waved at me and he introduced himself, said hi, he was super nice and but he's just a big teddy bear.
I honestly don't do a lot of networking. I'm fairly low key. I'm in and out. Like I don't really talk. Yeah, I'm like a ninja. I get in, train, and then I'm out. Like I don't really talk or like introduce myself a lot. So.
Well, I think people are going to start saying after this, hey, did you interview Brendan Moreno? And then they're going to tell me, hey, you look like Jay Leno, not you, me, because I don't know, man. I mean, I love my mom, but sometimes I ask her, did you have an affair with him? Just be honest. Did you have an affair? I'm like, do I have to go on Maury? Do we have to go on Maury?
You are the father.
Maybe you could get one of his cards.
Oh my God!
Get a couple of his cards.
He doesn't know about that text message. That's him. He's
you
on
want
the
to hear
same
something
page.
funny? You want something funny? So I posted a photo today, like of like, because I'm bored, not bored, you know what? Like it was like I'm at work today, but it's dead, like there's no calls. So I had this in my phone, like you know what? I'm gonna make people laugh today. There's enough negativity in the world. So I found this photo of like my face next to Jay Leno's face. So like I started putting it, I put it up on Instagram, and I'm gonna read the caption here, okay? I'm gonna read it, so just so you know. So then and if you guys want to follow me and ask me if I'm related, please follow me at DrewNomad7 where I'll answer your questions. Oh, what do you know? I got some more likes. Anyways, here's what it says. Okay. I still ask my mom if she had an affair with Jay Leno at Jay Leno's garage, just so I can get my 15 minutes of fame and maybe a car from dad. But first we going on Maury to see if he is the father. And then I get liked. The Jay Leno's garage liked the photo. So Cindy sends me a message clapping. She sends me a message clapping, like, good job. And I'm like, I still want my damn car. And give Jason a new Tacoma too while we're at it too.
Hopefully in his garage full of Lamborghinis and Ferraris, he's
got classics too.
Hopefully he has a Tacoma.
I want a Range Rover. That's my dream car. I like SUVs. I don't know about you guys. I'm an SUV kind of guy because when you drive an SUV, that's like superiority on the road, especially a Range Rover. So, I mean, I like Civics too, but SUV, that's like a different level of like, yeah, it's like, don't mess with me when I'm on the road.
See, and I got a 2013 Toyota Prius. That's the first car I bought and owned with my own money. Paid that thing off in 3 years. It's paid off. I don't got a bill on it. and it's still running, and she's doing awesome. But no, a Toyota RAV4 would be great, especially since it has a hybrid. But this one's still going, so I'm just gonna enjoy the non-payment right now.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it and live below your means.
Yep.
Yeah, I just keep her washed and cleaned and well maintenance.
That's the trick. Same with like my MacBook, but I got to get a new one because this is like a decade old now. It's giving me problems. So yeah, Cindy, you're smart to get. When you told me, I'm like, Cindy, what's your trick with your MacBook? Oh, I got some new RAM and I get it checked out. Yeah, well, I didn't do that, so I'm paying the price 10 years later.
New hard drive on her 2 years ago. Updated the memory. She's good. She's over a decade old. My Mac. Love it.
That's really good. See, you did it good. I didn't do it good. Because this is where I didn't use my common sense. Because you have to understand something, Jason. You can attest to this. Us guys, we're daring, but we're kind of stupid with our daringness. Because sometimes we'll be like, hey, you know what? Let's see how long this can last before like we really have to say shit. And then it breaks down. Like for example, like, and that's the thing too. Like us guys, because Cindy, you have to understand something with guys. We're dumb, but like we can be philosophically dumb, okay? Like I could have a conversation with Jason, like, here, Jason, I'm gonna ask Jason a question like about like, hey Jason, would you drive that car if there was one wheel missing on it? And Jason will be like, you know what, let me get back to you in 3 days on that. And then after that, 3 days later, he'll come back to me and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna drive that car with 3 wheels on it. I take risks. That's how I live. I'm like a ninja, man. You only live once.
I don't know about that.
I know. I'm just talking mad nonsense here. So, but yeah, man. Jason, another question I saw for you is like I saw you're very like into philosophy in terms of like Stoicism, probably like things like Jordan Peterson says. I imagine too. Like if you're a fan of that guy, me too. Don't worry. I don't shame people. Like because I know people when you see like Jordan Peterson. Now
Yeah.
it's like a whole thing. But it's not a political podcast. How do you feel Stoicism has helped you as like a martial artist and as a coach and owner?
Oh, it's all focused on building strength with your mindset and not only your body. It's stop complaining. Get to work. So if there's an issue, find a way to solve it instead of hiding in your room about it. It's complaining and feeling sorry for yourself isn't gonna help you succeed. So you gotta bite down and you gotta put your hands up and start swinging. It's it's a lot of those quotes that I've been posting from like the Art of War, all these different philosophers and what it's just stuff that I agree with, but it's I've been it's kind of on the same wavelength of mentality. It's everyone has hardships, everyone goes through some tough times, but you gotta learn from these experiences and train yourself to overcome that next hurdle that you experience, because you're always going to experience hurdles. It's just the way life goes. It's a couple good days, couple bad days, a whole lot of in between, like just even flow, and then sometimes you get a hurdle or sometimes you get something awesome. But if you're always expecting good things to happen, and you don't prepare yourself for these hurdles, it's gonna suck. And what are you gonna do to get over it?
Very true. Very, very true. Like that's the thing too. Like, and it's a David Goggins mentality. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're a fan of Goggins.
I'm a fan of anyone that shows strength. Anything strong that it motivates me. Anything that overcomes adversity, I get motivated by. I get inspired by that. I don't get inspired by weakness.
That's very true.
One of the biggest things that I love hearing from Jason throughout the gym with the students is we don't have problems, we have solutions. And that's the biggest thing that's implemented here. And there's no egos, and it's just work hard.
It's very true. That's that's the thing. Like, that's like, because now I'm rereading for the third time Can't Hurt Me. It's the third time I'm rereading it now, the David Goggins. I'm keeping that book forever. It's like one of those books that like you just keep until like you're like old, and it rings, everything you say, Jason, rings true. Like, it's so easy to complain and live below your potential, when in the end you could challenge yourself, and you could be a better person. And like I apply that to like where I am, because where I'm in Quebec, we have to speak French in Canada. That's the French speaking side of Canada. So I'm English, but I have to speak French for my job. And there's a time where like I really struggled, and my manager said to me, like, he didn't do it to scare me, but he's like, listen, he's like, you got to really pick up the French, because otherwise if you get like poor reviews from customers, I'm gonna have to probably take some form of action. Now, interpret it how you want, but I wasn't scared. Like, and I could have complained in my room and said, "Oh, this job's not for me." But look, I went to work, started really putting the effort in to learn the language better in any facet way I could. You find ways, whether it's through TV, media. Yeah, it's so easy to be a victim and say, "I don't want to do it." But the days you don't want to do it are the days you get better at it.
Oh, 100%. There's, and like, I know with Jason's mentality with training, he wakes up, it's on. That switch is on with him. But there's days for me where I'm like, I don't feel like training because I already know I'm not going to be at my best. But those are the days I push myself to go work harder and just get my ass moving and going. Because it's being able to push through those days that make you that better fighter and make you that better person. Because it's not about doing it when it's easy. It's about doing it when it's hard.
Very, very true. Like I don't want to train in the morning. Like I go to work out in the morning. Do I like it? No, I hate it. Like I see people I don't like luckily my condo gym is still open. Like I see some people I don't like, and I'm just like, fuck you. Like, don't talk to me. It's like, and it's like that's how I feel. But you know what? I do it and I get shit done, and then I feel better after. Then I just go up to the person like, hey, I'm sorry for saying that. It's just it's just the coffee didn't kick in yet. So
coffee is life. Oh my gosh, I love coffee.
And Cindy, you've done it. By the way, I see you're doing a weight transformation. You like the progress is really coming. So good job. Like I wanted to say congratulations. It must feel amazing. So what? If I may ask, like, was it because of the pandemic with anxiety? You were just comfort eating always, and then at one point you're just like, fuck this, I'm gonna just get back into shape.
So it was like a mixture of things. So at my heaviest, I want to say this was about 8 years ago, I hit like 348 pounds.
Whoa.
Bad marriage, not a good relationship, just physically and mentally not good. And I just started saying, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to focus on me, put myself first, be selfish, and just start getting myself back into my routine of things. So I started training again, going back to my old ways of, boxing, kickboxing, lifting weights, and the weight just started coming off from there. And then when I met Jay, I was about 190, 195, still in decent shape overall. I have a good amount of muscle mass. I will say that to me, but I always would just flirt around 190, 195, just going back and forth. My eating, I needed to clean up. So during the pandemic is when we did like a really bad fat week. We were at donuts for a whole week. It was like a case of donuts every day for a week. I put on 20 pounds the first month of the pandemic. Anxiety hit. It was just overthinking, making sure I was still providing to the students. I saw students calling me, sharing me their days, how they weren't feeling good. And I was still taking the calls because I didn't want anybody to ever feel alone. I'm here. I'm present. My phone is on from 5 a.m. until about 11 o'clock at night. So I have students that are always welcome to call or text me to have a chat, because I'd rather you have a chat with me than make a bad decision. And then from there, it was like, I need to start leading more by example and being not just telling everybody you need to work this hard. I need to do it for myself. So we started sparring and pad work almost a month before we were able to open. It was just me and him in the gym, training hard. We cleaned our eating up, low carb, keto, just really focusing on how we were eating, what we were eating, fueling our body for, the workouts that we were doing and the training, and the weight just started coming off. in the best way possible. I went from 210 at the heaviest there, or no, 226, and now I'm at 169. So I'm trying to get down another 10, 15 pounds right now, just keeping healthy, keeping fit. The energy's there. So it's just, lead by example. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm going to be 36 this year. So it's, if I can do it at this age with the schedule that I have, anybody else can do it as well.
Exactly. Jason, yeah, like the picture that I was using, like that I'll be using for like to promote the episode is of one of you, Cindy, Pavel, the Shevchenkos, and one of your other students or fighters. And
Simmons, he's a pro MMA fighter. He's got a fight coming up on the 27th with Fierce Championship.
Fierce MMA. Yeah.
Fierce MMA. We're excited for that. He's an awesome guy. Definitely would say check that out if you have the time.
Sounds good. I definitely will. And yes, we have to promote our local talent always, regardless of where you are. So yeah. Jason, you look like Brendan Moreno in that photo. That's where I said, hey, this dude looks like Brendan Moreno. And then Cindy's like, well, that's when he was 160. Now he's 140. So what has it been like? So 140, like what weight class is that in Muay Thai? Is that like lightweight or featherweight?
What the name of the weight class is called. I used to fight at 120, like 3 or 25, something like that. But I think that was bantamweight or super bantamweight, one of the two. But I was 123 to 126. I always used numbers. I didn't use like the name of the weight class. But yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, because in my style of karate, there's lightweight, middleweight, and open weight. So like if I'm like 185, I could be fighting a guy that's like 260. That happened actually.
Yeah, the hell with that.
That's scary.
Wow.
Yeah, no, 260 from 180. That's no.
I believe in physics.
No, I'll explain the story. Long story short, so I was weighing like right now, like I weigh like a light heavyweight, but don't worry, I'm gonna get down to my competition weight, which is 185. Anyways, but when I was weighing 215 or 220 around in 2017, I dropped from like that to like 170 pounds within 8 months. So like I was really going hard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Have a tournament. So I'm prepared to fight a guy my belt level, my weight class. So they're like, we have a problem. Like, what's that? So we don't have anyone in your weight category for your belt we don't have anyone in your rank, but you have to fight someone at your weight class, but they're going to be a black belt and brown belt. So I'm like, you're going to be responsible for my hospital bill if that happens. So so they're like, okay, so do you want to go down to do you want to go to the heavier weights, but they're going to fight you at your level? I was like, yeah. So they put me up against a guy that was like 260. We had some vintage Pride FC happening in a Kyokushin tournament. So that's what it felt like. I felt like I was Mark Hunt. The dude was Mark Hunt, and it was versus like, I don't know. Think of like Pride FC freak shows they had, like that kind of stuff. So that's how I felt. It was not fun. So yeah, gravity. #gravity.
That is so bad.
Size matters.
Size matters, yes.
That's why he won. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, if I hit this guy, if I hit him so hard, he's just gonna kill me. So I had to like use a lot of footwork. I had to tap into my inner Stephen Wonderboy Thompson to like move around and try to like not take the hits. So it wasn't good, but I learned. But now if I fight that guy again, I'm better prepared, and it doesn't matter what weight class it is. So that's I kind of want that fight back. And then my last fight, I fought at my other weight, my normal weight. But man, Muay Thai. Well, like whether it's like karate or like my style of karate or Muay Thai, damn those leg kicks. Whew.
Yep.
I'll learn how to check them.
Oh,
I didn't, and that's where my dumbness came in because I was like, I can handle this.
No. No.
No. Especially when and there's a complete different feeling when it's somebody's like first 6 months as opposed to somebody with like 14 years that knows how to kick the same spot over and over, and they've got that dense bone on the shin. Yeah, that's not fun at all.
Basics. My friend used to say, you can never be too good at the basics.
That's true. And as Stylebender likes to say, there's levels to this game, and there were levels to that game that day when I took those kicks. Like at first, because I was winning. I don't want to sound like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite here. So back in May 2019, so like I won second place, but I could have won first place if I knew how to check the kicks. But great experience nonetheless. My leg still has shell shock when I bring up that story. It's like got PTSD now. Only you guys understand that, or other or people who do striking martial arts. Like the common man is like, how do you want? It's like, listen, do kickboxing or Muay Thai. You'll understand when you get that calf kicked.
Oh yeah, it's a whole nother world. I know it cracks me up when people are like, "Oh, I've done boxing. It's the same thing." I'm like, "No, it's not at all. Yes, it's striking, but there's like kickboxing another level, Muay Thai is that other level, and then there's levels to it. All stances are different. You have to be really integrated in everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying Lethway, right? Because it did cut out there. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lethway's another one, like with that guy Dave Leduc. He's from Quebec actually, but I mean, the funny thing is, like, Dave Leduc's an amazing Lethway fighter, but in MMA he was kind of like a 500 fighter. Like, he didn't really do good. So I'm happy for him, but it's like eventually someone's gonna learn Lethway better than he does, and they're just gonna beat the master at it.
Yeah, that's a sport. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good at Muay Thai. Yeah, I'm good.
Michael Jordan tried baseball. Everyone has their sport.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why Michael Jordan did basketball. That's why he's good at it. Like, look, I tried to do hockey, but I was never good at it. That's why I went into fighting, because it's selfish.
There you go. Yeah, and like I've done other sports. I did indoor soccer, co-ed outdoor soccer, and I don't like running. I'm good. I don't want, unless I'm being chased, which, avoid those situations. I'm good. I don't want to run. I'm fine.
I feel you. I'm the same way too. Like, I don't like running either. But if you tell me, hey, we're gonna get you some cheese garlic bread from like Domino's Pizza, or like, and then you know what? I'm gonna start running on the treadmill for it, so I can feel good about it. It's like I have my inner, fat kid. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get, if I do this on the treadmill, I'll give myself the cheese bread, so I don't feel guilty. But then I feel like garbage the next day, like I did today, because I just went on a binge. So moral of the story is, don't binge. If you feel like, even though you don't have a gym right now, just train, do body weight, do anything. There's the internet, but don't follow what Google says. Follow the experts on YouTube.
Exactly. There you go.
So honestly, guys, I really want to say, before I say, I want to ask you, what's the plan for 2021 now? Like, how do you feel Andrada's going to really help? You think Andrada's going to explode, or not just explode, but like grow consistently too? Or both, both can happen.
The way that I've always lived my life, I never have a plan. I just go. I don't have long-term plans. I just go, just work hard, make smart decisions, and enough small goals being set is gonna turn into one long-term goal. So yeah, like the Joker from Dark Knight, I'm like a dog chasing the car. I wouldn't know what to do if I got it.
I love that film. Masterpiece, that film. And Watchmen. I saw you watching Watchmen. I was like, and did you leave? That's a good line, huh? That's a good one. I was like, that's my favorite. Have you watched Watchmen, Cindy?
I've attempted to, and I have fallen asleep both times I tried.
It's a very deep movie. It's not a typical superhero movie.
Yeah.
But that Rorschach scene where he's the one I sent you with that line, that's my all-time favorite line. And like,
oh yeah, the oil. It's like, you're trapped in here with me. Oh, it's so amazing. So good.
There was that scene, but no, there were then when he talks about how Walter Kovacs died that day, when he found with the serial killer, and then he's like tells, and like the guy's like, you turn me in. He's like, you could turn me in. So like, spoiler alert. He's like, and then like Rorschach's like, he's like, dogs go. He's like, what was the line? I told it to you. Like,
man go to prison, dogs get put down.
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's my favorite line of all time in that film.
100%. Take them out. Take them out.
Exactly. So yeah, like you said, you're like, like you said, you're like a dog chasing car. You wouldn't know what to do if you caught it. So there's that. And Cindy, what about for you with your mobility and stretch work?
Just, growing the clientele as much as I can, educating the students as best as possible, just, making the most of 2021 as what we can do. And, if Andrada expands, great. If somebody wants to give us a free space, why not?
Free spaces.
Free space, that would be awesome. Definitely would love it. But yeah, no, it's just staying focused, taking care of the students, and that's it. Just being the biggest supporter for them here.
Awesome. Well, guys, I first of all, I really want to thank you both for coming on. It was such a huge honor, because I'm just some random guy with a podcast, which, I have aspirations to make it big, not big like Ariel Helwani, because I don't like looking for sound bites. I like creating value. So I want to be like a Joe Rogan, you can say. I'm not the next Rogan, but
Nice.
yeah, it's better to make friends than to make enemies for your own brand.
Definitely. No, I appreciate taking the time and meeting us. I feel we're at least for me, I know I'm pretty ordinary. Jason's got a little bit more of a reputation here, being Las Vegas born and local business owned. So definitely, we appreciate your time.
Thank you. What did you say, Jason?
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. I think we're buds now. I think we're all buds. You could say it now. Like, we like each other's stuff. Instagram says we're friends. So
what about Facebook?
That too. Yeah, I added you too on Facebook because I use Facebook.
It's official then.
It's official. Yeah, I don't use Twitter because Twitter's negative. Twitter is so toxic.
It's too much. Too much
social media.
Oh my God. And then there's like too much political correctness on Twitter now. Like, there's this one journalist, I'm not going to give her name on the record. I'll give it to you off the record and I'll say the story after, but I'm so happy she got canceled because she was like an SJW and she shot herself in the foot. And that's why I stay off Twitter, because everyone's just mad at each other. Whereas Facebook, it's like you can curate what you see. Same on Instagram.
It's all ranting. Yeah.
It's like Jason says, it's weak people that are ranting like that. Like, how much time can you rant a day on your phone? That's a sign of mental illness. Like, I got stuff to do. I got bills to pay. You guys got bills to pay. I don't have time to listen to what some person who sits in their computer like, yeah, I don't like these people because they were mean to me. They were, and the gym owner, Jason, did mansplaining, whatever the fuck that means. So yeah, it's a social justice term, but I digress. But once again, really fun time today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And where can people connect with you guys on social media if they want to take up Muay Thai, or Cindy, connect with you for mobility and stretch work?
YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Andrada Muay Thai. Add me, Jason Andrada. My IG handle is ridiculous J702. And if you don't know how to spell it, it's right here. So,
and me, keep it simple as well. I always tell people I recommend following the gym. So at Andrada Muay Thai for Instagram. My IG is Happypandalv. Facebook, Cindy Hernandez, and Las Vegas. But yeah, definitely. First class is free for Las Vegas residents, so anyone want to come and check us out? We have kids classes as well, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. So, it's local community. Definitely come check us out.
Perfect. And guys, the episode will be out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Please subscribe, The Drewsperience. And if you want to connect with me, if you're a local fighter in Vegas, after watching this, you want a platform, if you're pro, hit me up on Instagram, DrewNomad7, Facebook, Drew Michaels. Yes, it's 2 first names, I know, and I look like Jay Leno. No, I'm not his son, so don't ask for a car.
There you go.
All right, guys, thanks so much for coming on. It will be up. I'll let you know when it's up, and before it's coming up, I'll send you the episode info, both of you, to make sure it sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds good.